Hello everyone, welcome to the review for the final exam. It's always fun jumping into final exam season or final exam time period. I know a lot of you are anxious to have a break, of course. I'm not sure if you get a break, but I know you're anxious to be done with your final exams, and I know overall you're going to do well. I would not worry too terribly about this exam. However, I would not limit yourself to not studying. You need to study for this final exam so you're ready to go. The majority of you have a really good grade in this class. And as I said before when we started this course, the goal wasn't to challenge you to the point where you did bad in this course. The goal was to challenge you to where you improved in communication. And I feel that the majority of you have done that. So just to talk a little about the final exam in general, it's a variety of different types of questions, some of which you've seen before, some of which you have not. It's less than 30 questions, so that's a good thing, but I want you to take your time in completing each question. When I say take your time, I say that because some of the questions are essay type questions, and I want to see at least 2 paragraphs worth of information, so you're actually taking the question seriously and you're documenting what we've learned throughout the period of the last, segmented of weeks. So take your time, do the best you can, and make sure you focus on kind of the task at hand. Don't get sidetracked and sit and take the test in one sitting. So I anticipate that you'll do good. So let's do a quick review. Remember when we talked earlier in the course about empathy, make sure you know what that is. Active and passive listening, nonverbal communication, verbal and written communication. So the different types of communication that we've discussed, I want you to talk about what that communication is, how you define it, and also give examples. Lots of different categories that you're going to define beyond, how the communication process works. Know about distancing when you're communicating. We have social distancing now, but what is the types of distancing when you're communicating with someone that makes them feel comfortable with your approach? Define paralanguage. What is that? I also have an essay in here about social media. Make sure you know what that is and you're able to document some of the challenges with social media and communication. Talk about distractions in communication. Talk about moral principles in communication. How about cultural types of differences in communication? And then we're going to look at APA format. What types of APA format are correct? I know a lot of you struggled with this, but this is going to mainly talk about APA format for the 6th edition because we really didn't get into the 7th edition in this course, but in the future you'll probably be asked to do that. Some multiple choice questions in regards to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. How about plagiarism? What is that? Let's see what else is in here. We talked about bibliography versus references. What is correct? How does it work in APA? You're going to have to identify types of communication sentence structure like noun, pronoun, adverb. How about conjunctions? Know what a conjunction is and how that works. Incomplete sentences is what? And then you have quite a bit of short answers. So you're going to look at describing what a resume is, what a cover letter is, what's the use of them, some of the barriers that you see in Washington State in regards to communication. What are the components of an effective resume? And then potentially how a resume could work and improve your dynamic of obtaining a job one day, or eventually finding a job, I could say. So theoretically, when we look at the final exam as a whole, that's pretty much all that's in it. So you're not going to be challenged from a point of knowing terms. More challenge is going to come from the essay components of this. And I'm really going to look at and really grade you a little bit more difficult than I have in the past on how you're performing in your sentence structure. So I'm going to want things to look neat, and I want your paragraphs to look good, ending sentences with correct punctuation. Make sure that I'm able to follow what you're saying. Make sure it's an easy read for someone that would pick it up and not know specifically about the material. So really have efficient and effective essays. And I'm not against preparing for those essays. So if you want to look at essays in regards to, drawing it out beforehand, maybe take a Word document and write out some of the questions, and then you can just copy it into the final exam. I'm fine with that. Just take your time, prepare for it. I'm going to be able to tell who's prepared for the final exam and who hasn't. I don't think this is going to be your most challenging final exam if you do the work ahead of time and make sure that you have everything ready to go. Otherwise, I really appreciate all the hard work you've put into this course. Uh, Take your time. You don't have to take the final exam on Monday. If you want to complete it later in the week, that's fine too. Reach out if you have any questions, and I really appreciate the time and effort you put into this course so far. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing a great submission in your final exam here in the next week. Thanks.